Good evening. Welcome to Spooky News. I'm Sam.
I'm Ren.
And there we go.
And that's it. That's all you need to know.
So, we've decided to do this podcast.
I decided.
Both. But we're doing this podcast because I've tried to find a podcast similar to this and had no success. So we're just doing it ourselves. And the basic structure, the idea of this podcast is we'll go through every month the news, the big spooky news in spooky happenings. So what we're going to go through is what I'm calling the big three, which is ghosts, UFOs, and cryptozoology. And then once we've gone through them, they'll be kind of the bulk of it. We'll go through other, which is just other stories.
Anything that's a bit weird.
Yeah, anything weird, anything interesting. I won't lie to you, I'm getting, because you have to collate all these news sources together, right? So rather than going to all the news sites myself, realistically, I'm just using Unexplained Mysteries website because they do that for you. So
Right.
I mean, I'm not citing them as the source on everything. I'm going to the source they cite, and they will be properly cited. But
for the most part,
if they're going to do the job for me, I might as well let them.
Yeah, might as well.
So, you want to get into it?
Let's go.
Right. Here's the first story. We're starting with ghosts. Story 1. The source for this is the Mail Online, aka the Daily Mail. The headline is, "I had a near-death experience after doctors injected me. It changed my view of religion and reality."
Oh.
Okay. So going quite deep.
Yeah.
To start off with. Okay, here's the story. In the summer of 1976, Timothy Cleve Abbott was rushed to hospital when a blood blister on his foot became infected and spread up his leg.
Ugh.
Doctors injected him with penicillin to halt the infection.
Was he allergic to penicillin?
I don't think so.
Or is that not it? I'm just guessing. You carry on.
They injected him to halt the infection, but the shot triggered a violent allergic reaction, causing him to leave his body.
I was right. I thought that. When was this? Do we know? Usually they ask if you're allergic, right?
This is something that happened this month. All the stories are from this month.
Oh, okay.
Well, I say this month. We're actually recording this on the 1st of November, but it's October's news.
Yeah.
Doctors injected him with penicillin to stop. The Austin, Texas musician said that the experience totally transformed his life and his views on religion and the nature of reality. Mr. Abbott, now 68, went on to suffer multiple near-death experiences, and he believes there's a reason around a third of people become recurrent experiencers. He told DailyMail.com, "It started in the summer of 1976. I got out of high school. I bought a new pair of shoes and I developed a blood blister. I didn't pay any attention to it, but it went up past my knee to the point where I couldn't walk. After friends hauled him to the hospital, doctors lanced and drained the blood blister, but immediately injected him with the antibiotic penicillin, which Abbott said he is extremely allergic to. The young man immediately collapsed. He said, "I immediately left my body. I saw my body fall down and bounce off the cement floor. I died in a mammography room and entered the afterlife. It was very different to everything I've been taught in church. The staff started freaking out and screaming, and the next thing I know, they're trying to bring me back with CPR." Abbott said that despite watching his own dead body on the floor, the experience was very calm. He said, "I wasn't in a panic or anything like that, I was just there. After 3 minutes, medical staff brought him back, and they sent him for a skull x-ray after his head had bounced off the floor."
Ooh.
His second near-death experience came just 6 years later in 1982, when he was in inner tubing. He was inner tubing on the Guadalupe River in his home state. Abbott said, "It's a slow-moving river normally, but it wasn't slow-moving. I was 20 feet above flood stage. It was 20 feet above flood stage, but we went ahead and did it anyway because we were young and dumb. I hit an area of turbulence, and I went down to the bottom of the river and ran out of air, and I had an X-ray vision. I can't explain it any other way. Finding the bottom of the river, Abbott kicked himself back to the service. Abbott said, "I saw a hand and instinctively grabbed it, and he pulled me up, and when I came to, I was spitting out water, and I looked in, amazingly enough." the weirdest part of the story is that I knew the guy that saved my life. He was from my hometown, 400 miles away, who just happened to be in the same spot at the same time I was with other friends. In both experiences, Abbott said he had a feeling of infiniteness. He said, I knew I was not in my body, and I was down looking at me like you would be watching someone in a movie, you know, something you'd see on TV. If you can hear noises, that's Bailey, the dog. He's hanging out with us today. But Abbott said that the experiences changed his view on religion and life and death totally. He said, I believe once you've opened that window or crack the door to what happens in the afterlife, you carry it with you as a marker of sorts, or you're able to be in touch with things that you can't quite understand. I have had some odd stories happen to me after all that, and I feel it's all connected. Since his two near-death experiences...
Bailey.
Since his two near-death experiences, he has felt a presence watching over him and has come to believe that it is his deceased grandmother, Teresa Rigby.
Wow.
A little added context to help make some of this make more sense. He said, I was born and raised a Lutheran Christian, and now I have the tendency to embrace something similar to that, but I believe in reincarnation after going through these things. Since his experiences, Abbott has spoken to others who have been through similar things, and they too feel that the experiences have opened their minds to other phenomena. Abbott said, some of these people have taken it to levels that are far beyond anything that I've experienced. I believe that pretty much no one knows what happens when we die, but there are plenty of clues left for us to figure it all out. Some people have keen abilities that allow them to be a conduit for things we don't quite understand yet. So, that's the first story. Do you have any thoughts on that? How do you feel about near-death experiences and what they could potentially mean for other things in the afterlife?
I don't know about the afterlife, but I think... Because there's that thing that I've seen, like, people say that, like, people who have, like, never broken a bone, it's said that they've got, like, a guardian angel looking out for them.
Right.
Like, someone looking out for them.
Okay.
I've never broken a bone.
Me neither.
And I've gotten in, like, not some near-death experiences,
Right.
but, like, some, like, situations that could have become dangerous, could have hurt myself, but then something stopped me. I'm a believer in that sort of thing.
Okay.
I'm a big believer in that. But then when I start thinking about the afterlife and that, and I'm like, let's just press pause on that. Getting away from myself.
Right. But you think, you would say you believe that there is more to life after death then?
I don't know.
But if you
Because, like, when I sit and think about it, I'm like, no. I'm pretty sure it's just, like, oblivion. That's it. It's done.
If you have if you believe that you would have a guardian angel, that implies that there is something else. It's not necessarily
That's
that
not
you
what
go
I'm
after
believing.
death.
That's not what I believe.
Right.
But there are, like, there've been... that's what I've heard about the, like, broken bone thing. But, like, I'm not... There's something weird about some of the circumstances. I can't think of any for sure that have happened to me.
Yeah.
But where I'm like, maybe someone's looking out for me.
Yeah.
But I always think, I mean, yeah, because it tends to be me thinking, that's my grandma.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, well, it's one of them things when you lose someone, right? It's part of the grieving thing. It's like you like to think that they're still around somewhere in some capacity.
Right. Is it that you really think it, or is it a wishful thinking?
I think it's a wishful thinking kind of thing. And for the most part, I'm like, that was quite lucky.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I'll chalk it up to my grandma because my grandma was a lovely woman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if there's anyone looking out for me, it'll be my grandma.
Yeah. Because
I've lost her, and if she's hanging about somewhere, she'll probably be looking out for me.
Yeah.
But it is like, you know, that's like a wishful thinking thing afterwards. For the most part, I'm just like, that was lucky.
There is I think a psychological condition or issue where people try and attribute meaning to things, or suggest that, you know, that there's a pattern or something must have happened for a reason, as opposed to just accepting that statistically, you know, you can just be lucky. Things do happen. Having said that, if there's something is sufficiently unusual that the chances are so slim. I mean, a lot of these near-death experiences, people have. I've read one day, for some reason I was reading through a thread of near-death experiences.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are very similar experiences. One of the main things, which is quite reassuring really, that people seem to say is that as they're kind of coming to that point where they're quote-unquote dying, is that they feel instantly calm.
Yeah.
There's no panic once it kind of sets in. They're just like, I'm okay with it. Which is like...
That's quite comforting.
Kind of scary, but also comforting.
Yeah.
In a way, you know what I mean? Because you know, even if there's a bit of panic leading up to that, once you kind of reach there, you'll just be okay with it. If what these people are saying is to be believed.
I think that death is a lot worse for the living. Having to grieve someone.
Right, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Like, because, I don't really, like, believe in, like, an afterlife.
Yeah.
Like I said, no one knows. And I always have this mindset. It's like, it's more of like a positive spin on things. It's not like I truly believe that, but I like to put a positive spin on things, because if I say to myself, like, hey, that's my grandma looking out for me, it puts me in a better mood. Yeah. And then I'm thinking of my grandma. No, I probably don't. It's not my grandma. Like, I know that, like, you know, it's just, it probably is just, like, luck. Yeah. But I like to put that positive spin on it. But yeah, that is quite reassuring that it's sort of like accepted. I guess I imagine it's very much like, you know, like when you're really tired and you start falling asleep and there's that like moment where you're still awake but you're like just about to fall asleep. Yeah. That's bliss. That I love that moment. Yeah. When you're almost not conscious. Yeah. Yeah. You're like teetering on that point. You're just about to go.
So I think the thing with this story is it doesn't really add anything new as such to the idea of near-death experiences and what happens after death. There's no like new information that somehow is like taken from this, but like it's one of those interesting stories where it does always make you think. And this person's being raised religious. I think is always going to put another twist on it. Like, will they then attribute some of the things they see to religion? Or the opposite? Will it convince them otherwise because they don't see what they thought they'd see?
Yeah, you do sometimes get that, don't you? There's been some cases. So yeah, it didn't that with the blister that didn't take place. It was in the 1970s. I think. It?
Yeah, I think that was
73 or something.
Earlier. Let me scroll back to it. It will have been the blood blister.
1976.
Yeah.
So it started that, when he got his new shoes. Yeah. Because I was like, straight away, as soon as I mentioned like penicillin, I'm like, they definitely check that you're not allergic to penicillin. Yeah. I don't know if they'd have done that. And
then the next one was 1982.
82.
So 6 years later. So a couple of experiences, which, I mean, only 6 years apart. I know it's 6 years, but like that's, you know, it happened a second time. You'd be like, damn it, not again.
Yeah. Is this a 6 year thing?
So yeah, something to dwell on there a little bit, I guess. Right, shall we move on to story 2?
Okay.
For ghosts. Although it wasn't really ghost, but it's ghost related, isn't it?
Paranormal.
So story 2. The source.
Sorry if I keep coughing, by the way. Got a tickly throat.
The source for this next story is the Olive Press. The headline is
what?
The Olive Press. Yeah. Okay. Here's the headline. Police in Spain investigate bizarre case of paranormal abuse after a woman claimed her ex-boyfriend hired a medium to scare her.
Oh wow.
So I think this one will be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the story. In a domestic violence investigation, the 41-year-old victim told police that she was very scared and had to change her routine because she was afraid that he could hurt her, this being her ex. She also stated that her partner, who was accused of multiple assaults, told her several times... Ex-partner, yeah. Told her several times that he was going to commit suicide and that he would take someone with him if she left him.
Emotional manipulation at its finest.
Typical. The woman said her boyfriend paid money to a medium to cause her distress. She stated that she saw a painting rise above the table where it was leaning and fall to the ground shortly after. In another incident, she said she heard noisy footsteps running behind a wall, and a few minutes later, her ex-partner turned up saying he had a ghostly vision of her father who had recently died. During the alleged supernatural contact, the ghost said that if his daughter and the alleged abuser did not remain as a couple, bad things would happen and that she would die. The former boyfriend claimed the apparition entered another room of his home where a glass burst on a shelf and a bust had moved. The shelf had a photo on it featuring the woman with her father. In September, the victim called the police after finding her house turned upside down with a television and vase on the floor, as well as a doll that had been moved to her bedroom entrance. Police said nothing had been stolen and there was no trace of a thief. Her ex-partner was arrested for domestic violence and a restraining order was issued against him.
And that's that.
And that's their story. What do you think? Do you think he genuinely hired a medium to scare her? To cause ghosts to
I don't think it needed to have been a medium. I think you could have just got someone good at that sort of prank.
But she obviously thinks it's more than someone pranking her.
Do you think he's
and he was essentially hired as a ghost hitman.
Ghost hitman, no.
What do you think about that?
It's just a bit ridiculous, I think.
You think?
I mean...
It could... Because it could... Maybe. She is haunted. So there was no talk about her experiencing hauntings or ghost activity in her house or around herself before this.
Before this, yeah.
Which would suggest that this would be what kicked it off. Or maybe it's unrelated. Maybe she's attributing it wrong. Maybe she picked up some item and the item was haunted. She hasn't even considered that. She's assumed it's this. But the reason she's being haunted is because she has this item and it's unrelated to what she thought.
Maybe.
Or maybe he did hire a medium to get a ghost to terrorise it. I don't really know.
I mean, where I'm thinking it is... And because I'm a believer as well.
Right.
But I'm very sceptical with this one. I think it's some setup to make it seem supernatural, but it's not. To scare her into getting back with him. Which is just messed up. But you know what I mean?
Or do you think she came up with some crazy idea to accuse him of something and that there was no abuse at all, but she wanted him out of her life, and rather than just being a grown-up about it, she come up with something crazy?
I doubt it. Although, you never know.
You never know. You're right, probably not, but you never know.
I think, because I think it's more likely, like, the question shouldn't be like, is it like all in her head, or did he actually hire a medium to get a ghost after it? I think
there's a third option.
Which is he's probably gotten someone who's good at those sort of like pranks to make it look like it's supernatural. Because we've not got much to go on like with breakdown of what the circumstances were like around these supernatural occurrences, these paranormal activities.
I think it could also be that either him or him and a friend or something were like rooting through a house and stuff, hence why it's turned upside down. But maybe she saw it as a ghost. She saw it as supernatural
she didn't
activity.
see it happen.
Might not even been their intention at all for it to look like that.
Well, yeah.
Possibly.
But I mean, the painting moving, it was already leaning against the wall. You remember when I broke your Metallica poster thing?
Yeah.
That was leaning against the wall.
Right.
I mean, she's saying it rose up in the air and smashed, but like, was she already looking at it when it happened?
Yeah.
Because it will fall quite quick.
Yeah. See, the issue, as always, is with these things that memory is kind of unreliable.
Yeah.
And you can think you saw it that way, and if you saw a video recording, you'd be like, oh, actually, that's not what happened.
Yeah, it's like when you're recounting your dreams, you fill in the gaps.
Yeah. But I tell you what, it would be kind of spooky to have that stuff happen.
It would be. And you know what? Of all the times to have, like, a supernatural experience, that's a shitty situation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not a good time for that to happen.
And it's like, already, like, when it comes to, like, a domestic case, you're already in such an awful position, and then, like, you know, if, like, you have to get police involved.
Yeah.
And then you're putting a supernatural spin on it as well. It's like... I don't think I would say that. I'd just be like, oh, he's harassing me. I wouldn't say that I've seen these things move. I'll just be like, I've noticed things have been broken. Because I'd just be like, they'd be looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, please help me. He is harassing me. Yeah. Well, if I start spewing about supernatural stuff, no one's going to believe me.
You'd probably try and avoid making that claim at all, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I've got it so in my head that, like, all police departments are like that one guy in that, what we watched yesterday, that Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
He just don't believe you.
He don't believe anyone. He's like, the whole town's pranking me.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's all the stories we have for ghosts.
Oh, okay.
Only the 2 stories for ghosts this month. Let's move on to UFOs. I think UFOs is going to be a big topic. I think there's quite a lot to talk about with UFOs at the moment. So,
is it plugged in charging?
No. I think this one will last. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so UFOs, story 1. This comes from public.news.
Public.news?
Yep. Headline. The Pentagon is illegally hiding secret UFO program from Congress, whistleblowers allege.
Is this the one you told my dad about?
Yeah, it is.
Brilliant.
Okay, let's read through it, and then we'll talk about it. I'm sure some people, if you've looked for this podcast, you probably have heard about this.
Yeah.
But let's go through it. A secretive Pentagon UFO data retrieval program has been hidden from congressional oversight since 2017, a new report claims.
Sorry, Bailey's going. He's going.
What's he doing?
Up.
There he goes.
There he goes.
Okay. Whistleblowers assert the program, codenamed Immaculate Constellation,
that's it,
was established to detect and quarantine the military's best UFO imagery, as well as its videos, eyewitness testimonies, and electronic sensor evidence. This trove of high-quality, multi-sensor UFO data is so tightly held that talking about it will put you in the danger zone, according to a US official who confirmed the leak.
Are we in the danger zone? Danger!
I think we're safe from the danger zone now, considering this is all over the internet. I think that's one of those things where, when no one knew about it, if anyone mentioned it, that would flag up.
That was the danger zone.
And then you'd be
But now that everyone
knows it, there's not much that can be done about that.
Yeah.
It's just out there.
Okay.
So I think we're okay now.
I don't want to be put at risk.
Well...
Don't put me at risk, Sam, just because you want to yap about it.
Let's yap. A Pentagon spokesperson denied the existence of the program Tuesday evening, telling reporters the Department of Defense has no record, present or historical, of any type of SAP, which is Special Access Program, called Immaculate Constellation. By law, classified programs like SAPs must be disclosed to the so-called Gang of Eight, which includes the chairs and ranking members of the House and Senate Intelligence Committees and other key lawmakers. However, the source of the leaked report, who supplied the document to the independent news site Public, described the program as an unacknowledged special access program, or USAP, with unique secrecy privileges. Reporting in defense publication Jane's Defense first revealed the existence of USAPs decades ago, showing that government officials were authorized to lie publicly to deny their existence. The whistleblower, who claims to have authored the report to Congress, described the Immaculate Constellation, USAP, as a strategic intelligence program, and only one part of how the US military currently deals with its UAP problem. If proven to be legitimate, the program would show those now infamous Navy UFO videos, known as the Tic Tac, Go Fast, and Gimbal, to be just the tip of US government's UFO data iceberg. The multitude of wavelengths collected by these sensors have captured UAP characteristics that are difficult or impossible to observe with the human eye alone. Bailey, stop it. According to the leaked report, allegedly intended for cleared members of Congress, subtle atmospheric effects associated with UAPs are also visible through the sensors employed by the US military and intelligence agencies. The leaked report added, in his report to Congress, the report to Congress, the source described Immaculate Constellation as a means of enforcing internal information security, capturing new UFO reports before they had observed and circulated within the military intelligence enterprise. A second source, a former US intelligence community official, confirmed the authenticity and existence of Immaculate Constellation to public, stating that program is run out of SECDF, SecDef, of Office of the Secretary of Defense. They don't want to acknowledge it's real, this intelligence source opined. They won't comment on it. This source also noted that the simple public utterance of the name Immaculate Constellation would be sufficient to trigger government surveillance of those who publish it under the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA. They enforced their secrecy with a lot of vigour. This second source asserted, while still unproven, the explosive claims surrounding the alleged Immaculate Constellation UFO collection program echo comments made publicly by very senior former US intelligence officials. I think some of the phenomena we may be seeing, ex-CIA head John Brennan told reporters in 2021, results from something that we don't yet understand and could involve some type of activity that some might say constitutes a different form of life. What did you think of that? A lot of very careful wording. For example, at the end here it says it could involve some type of activity that some might say constitutes a different form of life.
Right.
They're not saying, yeah, it's aliens. But they are suggesting that they're looking for something and that it's not really collating with things that we know to be us.
Yeah.
You know? So this story came out earlier this month. I can't remember exactly when. But it was quite a big story, I think. And it's part of a flurry of UFO news that has been coming out recently. A few different whistleblowers and different things being said. Mm-hmm. And it's notable that they have multiple sources. It's not just a single source. Sorry, that was Bailey. Which is quite interesting. And notably, one of the other whistleblowers that came out a bit back is a guy named David Grush, who claims that he was tasked with looking into UFO special access programs. I believe it was special access programs, and what exactly they're doing and what's going on, and that the information he saw, he decided was too important for the public to know, that he wanted to become a whistleblower, so he left his job. So he was a high-ranking member of government, of the military, and he left his job in order to whistleblow because he thought it was more important that the public know this information.
Yeah.
So he said a lot of things, including that there are crash retrieval programs, so vehicles of some kinds that have crashed that they've retrieved, and that they even found the specific term he used was they found biologics in them. Again, avoiding saying aliens.
Yeah.
Either for stigma reasons or maybe because that's not really what it is.
Yeah. Not
really sure. But the reason I bring him up is because shortly after this story about Immaculate Constellation came out, another little bit of information came out where someone had searched, and this is now wiped from the internet, which is either adding to its validity or completely removing it. But there was, so basically Immaculate Constellation is a weird name, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't even think of it. So someone thought, after this came out, let me check Google search history for this. So they checked search history for Immaculate Constellation. As you would expect, there was barely anything. And then after David Grush came out and whistleblew, there was a brief spike in the search history for the term Immaculate Constellation. And then it disappeared. The spike disappeared, like it was just a brief when he came out, almost as if someone was thinking, he's come out, I wonder if he's told anyone about this program. And then they were searching it. And again, I don't know if this is true. I had read this, I don't know if it's true. But supposedly someone, because I don't know how you find this out, but supposedly someone, you can tell, I guess, the rough area as to where the search came from. And it was around, I can't remember which one it was now, one of the Air Force bases that supposedly the government contracts out to do these like crash retrieval things for them and to work on crash UAPs, UFOs, and to back engineer them, and it was around one of those places, like that sort of area that it was searched. Anyway, so someone checked shortly after someone found that out and posted it online that this search history happened, and now when you search for it, the search history for the term, there's nothing.
So they got rid of it?
Either Google or someone contacted Google and said you must remove this search history, or it was never there in the first place and the person was lying.
Right.
The problem is we can't prove it one way or the other.
Can Google do that? Like if it's like a government authority that...
I mean, they can do what they want. Whether or not they're supposed to do it
is
another question.
But like, yeah, I'm curious to know what the process is with that. But yeah.
So what do you think about that? Now, both the sources for this story were anonymous, as you would expect for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it is quite a big thing to be claiming.
Yeah.
You know, specifically a special access program that they're not allowed to talk about.
Yeah.
It's unacknowledged. So if you ask them, as they did, they'll say, no, we don't have that.
Yeah.
But again, he's saying that, oh no, but they have unacknowledged ones, just a way around
the
fact that they're saying, no, it's not real.
Yeah.
And like, once you say, oh no, but you can have unacknowledged ones, you can't, there's nothing you can do to convince people it's not true.
Yeah, exactly.
So it could go either way.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you have any thoughts on it?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
We've been watching a lot of X-Files.
Yeah, we've been watching X-Files.
I want to believe. Yeah, my dad is very much into this sort of thing, and he's a big believer.
He's convinced.
He's convinced.
Yeah.
He's got his tinfoil hat ready. Love him to bits.
So I think with the whole UFO things, especially the recent stuff, it could very well still be a whole lot of nothing. There's no doubt about that. But at the same time, I think what it's got going for it is there have been a lot of people come out and they're not... I know the sources for this story were anonymous, but a lot of the people like David Grush, like Lou Elizondo, like Commander David Fravor, all these people that have been coming out whistleblowing, saying, oh, we've seen these things on sensor data or, you know, with our own eyes. They've been vetted and proven to be who they say they are. So they were in the military. They're not just some strange person claiming to be from the military. They've been proven that they are from the military or they are from the government.
Yeah.
And they did work in these sort of high up secrecy areas. It doesn't mean that what they're saying is true, or I wouldn't necessarily say that they're lying, but it could very well be that they didn't have access to all the information to understand what they were seeing. So they've kind of maybe seen what they thought was this, made us probably not. I doubt they'd make a random wild assumption, but maybe that like everything that they saw led them to believe it was this. But there is more information to it for, you know, so that if you knew everything, you'd be like, oh, okay, I see why it looks like this now, but it's not necessarily UFOs.
Yeah.
Possibly. Or the alternative is the US government, and I guess all governments, because none of them, I admit to it, are all lying about it. And they are doing these special access programs, and they are backwards engineering UFOs, and they are, you know what I mean? And this is all real, and we're not alone in the universe. Also possible.
Also possible, yeah.
You know?
We don't know.
We don't know. No, it's been a bit since this story came out. I've not heard any more updates. Obviously, if anything does come out in the coming months, it'll be on the podcast. Yeah. But as it stands, there's nothing else that's come out about it. So, despite this supposedly very secret special access program coming out, like being made public, there's been no uproar, at least not publicly. Behind the scenes, if it is true, they may well have been like, right, we need to restructure crazy, get rid of this name, you know what I mean? So I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
You have any more thoughts on it before we move on?
Not really, no.
Fair enough.
There's not enough really for me to go on. I'm sure there is some there.
Yeah.
But there's not really enough.
Yeah.
To go on.
Okay, let's go for story 2 when it comes to UFOs. The source for this story is
Bailey's Growl.
Bailey, do you not like story 2?
He don't like the sauce, maybe.
Well, it is The Mirror. Source is The Mirror, and the headline This will be good. You'll like this one.
Okay.
King Charles flew prototype UFO in Canada, claims witness in new documentary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Wow, what a headline.
I know. It's good. Right. A new documentary delving into the British royal family's fascination with UFOs and otherworldly phenomena.
What was this on?
A documentary.
This is like slipped under my radar. I swear I'd have heard about this.
Anyway. Explores British royal family's fascination with UFOs and otherworldly phenomena. Explores some rather outlandish allegations, including one that King Charles piloted a genuine UFO in Canada back in 1975. The King of UFOs, which is, I guess, the name of the documentary, spotlights an interview with Canadian diver Dan Costello, who asserts he saw the King at the time still the Prince of Wales, at the helm as one of 3 pilots guiding what appeared to be a prototype UFO at Sandy Point in Nova Scotia. Costello maintains that the vehicle was UFO-esque and discharged a bluish ionic flame which singed the earth beneath it, consequently altering the ground cover to grass. He suggests that King Charles was positioned at the adjacent HMS Endeavour, serving as a helicopter pilot, and was summoned for a clandestine endeavour known as Project Serpico. In his eye-opening claim, Costello remarked, the craft had dual rotor blades like a helicopter, but it would also just sit and hover in the sky with the blades not on, and with no sound of propulsion, just a faint crackle of electromagnetism. Quote. I mean, I guess that was already a quote, but this is more of a quote. I don't think it was extraterrestrial, but it might be technology developed by Nikola Tesla.
Right.
Who had a facility here, and now this was being used by the US, Canadian and British military. Despite reaching out to the royal household, Lee has yet to receive a response after writing to King Charles regarding the mysterious 1975 event at Sandy Point.
Charlie, did you fly a UFO?
Lee, creator of documentary, admitted his initial doubts, saying, I was quite sceptical about Costello's claims at first, but since the film was released, numerous witnesses have come forward to state that they remember this Sandy Point incident and that there were weird craft flying in this area. Thoughts?
It's just bizarre. I think it's bizarre enough that I believe it. I mean...
You believe it?
Yeah, I believe it.
You think...
Wholeheartedly.
King Charlie flew a UFO in 1975?
Why not?
Up in Canada.
Why not?
Why not? I mean...
Do you believe it?
No, I don't believe it.
Why on earth not?
I just think it's far too silly.
That's what I'm saying.
And I love that they bring in Nikola Tesla. It's like, it's not UFOs, but it's Nikola Tesla. Who notably, people have just attributed him with every brilliant invention under the sun. Infinite energy, all this stuff. And it's like, of course he made UFOs as well. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
So...
No, I think that is quite silly, but... I don't know, it might just be just silly enough.
Just silly enough. I mean, I will say that unlike the US government, where they have this Freedom of Information Act, where nothing can be secret forever, eventually, legally speaking.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they will, but legally speaking, they have to put it out there eventually.
Yeah.
Our government, I don't believe, has any such thing, where they can have things that are permanently secrets that you can't find out about. And we know our own government has had UFO programs as well. And they've released UFO files in the past. Obviously, nothing that's going to have anything interesting in it.
Yeah.
But they have done. So, that's all I'll say on that. That they do have a finger in the pie. But I don't believe this particular story.
Okay.
Shall we move on from this? Okay. Story 3. This was last minute. Initially posted on the 30th. Updated on the 31st. So, updated just yesterday.
Wow.
Source is Mail Online.
Mm-hmm.
Headline is Pentagon Chief reveals high-res photo of a UFO mothership, a huge mini-city floating in the sky.
Oh.
I read this one, and initially I was like, oh my god, this is like breaking news, what is this? And then I read further, I'm like, oh, actually, this is funny.
Oh, it's funny.
Funny
okay,
in a way.
I'm down.
So this is unfortunately includes one of the whistleblowers I mentioned earlier.
Right.
And it doesn't put it in a good light.
Oh.
I wouldn't say it's worth immediately dismissing everything he says because of this.
Okay.
But it is like a blemish on the record.
Right.
So, Luis Elizondo, a career U.S. Army counterintelligence specialist, previously ran the military's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, also known as ATIP. Monday night in Philadelphia, at a private UFO event, Elizondo dropped what he described as a craft looking like the Mothership from Close Encounters of the Third Kind, referring to the 1977 Spielberg film.
Yeah.
Guess what we caught in Romania in 2022? By the way, the US Embassy, as Elizondo told attendees at the paid event, gesturing to the photo, that. And I'll show us the photo at the end.
Okay.
He went on to describe it as a huge mini-city floating in the sky. But the UFO, which resembles a gleaming disc-shaped craft, has already drawn withering critiques from skeptics, believers, and even military UFO witnesses alike, who claim to have traced the photo not to the US Embassy, but a Facebook page.
Oh no.
Yeah. One suggested to dailymail.com that Elizondo has been lax in his vetting of such images in a bid to add sensational new material to his paid speaking engagements. Veteran US Air Force Staff Sergeant Jeremy McGowan, who witnessed a dramatic UFO encounter himself in the Middle East decades ago, told dailymail.com that Elizondo's dubious Mothership UFO fits a pattern with the man's past claims. This unfortunate situation with Lou follows my experiences with him nearly exactly, McGowan said. I witnessed him exaggerate or outright fabricate information that simply wasn't true. Elizondo unveiled the 2022 Romanian UFO photo at an October 28, 2024 event held at the City Winery, a wine bar in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, for $50 to $30 per ticket. There's a whole lot more here, folks, Elizondo told the audience in a leaked clip. I just want to give you a kind of small taste of what's going on behind the scenes. John Greenwald Jr., a longtime government transparency advocate who runs the Black Vault, quickly tracked the photo back to a September 13th, 2023 post in a Facebook group titled Mysterious Ancient Discoveries. I reverse image searched it, Greenwald posted on X. I got more than 182,000 likes. It got more than 182,000 likes and more than 23,700 comments. The higher resolution image of this apparent mothership, which looks at first glance to be piercing clouds with its beatific shafts of light, appears to be more likely to have originated as a reflection of an indoor chandelier lamp reflected in window glass. The replacement of Romania's coal-fired Arad power station indicates the image was not taken from the US Embassy, but a building near the Mureș River a few miles away. America's embassy in Romania is roughly 400 miles to the southeast of Arad in the capital city of Bucharest. Update. This was the update that came out yesterday. I said something three, but I've put the wrong year, yeah. Via a publicist that his book publisher, HarperCollins, Elizondo delivered a response to this story by email at 10:15 a.m. Eastern. The lengthy response, which had previously been posted to social media, can be read in full on Elizondo's profile at x.com. Getting public engagement is precisely one of my motivations in sharing these types of photos, Elizondo's message reads in part. The fact that we now have individuals in social media with the expertise and willingness to conduct the much-needed analysis is extremely encouraging to me and is welcome news in my opinion. I am grateful for the public's help in resolving this case, the former Pentagon official added. This reinforces the notion that we must all remain vigilant and always question the data, including myself, even when that data may be coming from the government. So, I'll show the image first that Lou Elizondo brought up.
Okay.
That's what it looks like. This was him showing it at this event.
Yeah.
You can see it looks like it would be a big ship in the sky. Some stuff hanging down for it. Not quite sure what that is. Okay.
Yeah.
And then if we look at the image that John Greenwald found, that he claims matches it.
Oh yeah.
From this Facebook page. Okay. So, I guess it's not where he says, and it looks a bit more. Anyway, so you can see that the photo is clearly where he's obviously saying this is like a secret government image that that he's putting out for the first time. No one's seen it, but then there it is on a Facebook post from a year ago.
Yeah.
So evidently not what he thought it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is a blemish, like I say, on his record, which is unfortunate. It's nice when someone comes out and you think you know, when you can trust them to be like, oh, yeah, maybe they're telling the truth. But then when you do that, like I say, it doesn't necessarily dismiss all his claims outright, but it is like well, you did say that and that.
Yeah.
You'd hope you'd figure that kind of thing out.
Yeah.
But any other thoughts on that?
I wonder if my dad knows about that then.
I'm sure he does.
Probably. I'll ask him about it when I speak to him. But yeah, that is unfortunate, but yeah.
Silly. Right, should we move on to cryptozoology?
Ooh, let's do it!
Alright then. Cryptozoology.
I'm ready.
This will be good. Story 1 for cryptozoology. Source is Mail Online. Headline. Has Nessie finally been found? Seasoned Loch Ness skipper shares images of monster-like shape caught on sonar.
On sonar?
On sonar. Right, here we go. Let's delve into this. It's the mythical creature that has captured the attention of people around the world for decades. And now the search for the Loch Ness Monster has been taken up a gear. Sean Sloggy...
We don't like
Nessie.
Really?
Hush. Sean Sloggy, a seasoned Loch Ness skipper, was cruising across the loch when he spotted a mysterious shape on sonar. While its source remains unclear, Sloggy, 30, admits he's never seen anything like it. On September 22nd, 2024, while preparing for another vessel's arrival, Sloggy's sonar... That's hard to say.
Sloggy's snort.
Sloggy's...
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Sloggy's sonar flashed up. The sonar indicated that a large object was lurking at a depth of around 98 metres. He described it as the biggest thing I've ever seen. With its elongated shape and distinct features hinting at air pockets, the team couldn't help but wonder if the sonar reading was tied to the infamous Loch Ness Monster. Despite returning to the scene to investigate, the mysterious contact had vanished, leaving the team baffled. Sloggy admitted, "We're not sonar experts, but I've never seen anything like it."
Right.
That's a good start, isn't it? Spookily, the last major sonar contact in Loch Ness occurred almost exactly 4 years ago on September 24th, 2020. Okay, so I've also noted here, I didn't put this actual story in because I read it and it wasn't actually that interesting. But there was another Loch Ness story on Thursday the 3rd of October, which was detected by a Wee Holocam deep scan cruise. And it didn't really say anything else, but all they really found was a disturbance.
Right.
And then obviously because it was in Loch Ness, the news story was, "Oh, is it Nessie?" You know.
I don't believe in Nessie.
You don't believe in Nessie?
No, and I'll tell you what for as well. Ever since it's really solidified it since we watched the Corridor Crew video when they were analysing the pictures of Nessie.
Yeah,
I'm doing air quotes.
Yeah. It's
and I'm it really broke it down. I was like, I didn't really believe to begin with, to be fair.
It's nice, like, on the one hand, it's good the way they break it down. You're like, oh, okay, I can see what you're saying. They're really good videos, but at the same time, you're like, want to believe this video, and then they break it down, and more you're just like, oh, right, oh, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah. Thanks for ruining it.
So yeah, that's what's going on with Nessie. It's not, again, it's nothing we haven't heard before. But people keep picking things up. I suppose it's deep.
Yeah.
It's big and deep is Loch Ness.
Yeah.
And it has been speculated that there are tunnels underneath it that lead to the ocean at large. So things potentially could come back and forth through there. You never know, you might find something in there that you wouldn't expect to be in there.
Yeah.
That doesn't really suggest that it's a monster or a plesiosaur that survived or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's difficult to say, but I'm not convinced by Nessie, unfortunately.
No, me neither.
But, if anything more comes of this amateur sonar data, then maybe it is. Who knows? I'm open to it. I want it to be true.
How long's Nessie going to live?
Well, I don't imagine at this point it's the same Nessie.
So there's more than one Nessie?
I think the idea is that Nessie would have had kids with another Nessie.
Exactly, so there's more than one Nessie.
Maybe I'm wrong, though.
A Nesso.
A Nesso, yeah. Let's just move on from Nessie.
Let's just move on.
Story 2. The source is TMZ. TMZ. Oh. Headline. Dubious video clip shows alleged Bigfoot sitting against a tree. It's good when it starts with dubious.
Do we have the clip, Sam?
We do have the clip. Okay.
I like it says dubious video. I'm ready.
An apparent Bigfoot has made his or her inevitable TikTok debut.
There you go.
It's on TikTok.
It must be true. It must be real, actual footage. If it's been posted to TikTok, 100%. Everything on TikTok is true.
The footage is actually the best to date. The footage is actually the best to date of Sasquatch in the wild, as opposed to a snack commercial. Here's the big hairy deal. A video. This is TMZ, so you get that kind of reporting. A video posted Wednesday that has since gone viral shows what sure as hell seems to be a Bigfoot just chilling against a tree in a wooded area of Lawton, about 3 hours from Oklahoma City. The video is only a few seconds long, but it sure does look like something ripped right out of Harry and the Hendersons. The TikToker posted called the instance the scariest moment of his life. Are you ready to see?
I'm ready. I'm so ready.
Okay.
Please.
Here we go.
Is this an ad?
Advert. Hold, please.
Please hold.
Why is it going so fast?
This was posted by EveMan580 on TikTok on October 1st, stating, "Scariest moment of my life. And I really think I caught Bigfoot on camera in the forest.
Absolutely not.
I was just doing some sightseeing, enjoying the
just
day,
sit there.
and saw something in the distance.
And then he notices.
I'm still shaking as I typed this. I've enlarged the
Absolutely
original video.
not.
See, that voiceover sounds like it's coming from
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
Down to half speed and running it back.
He's like, I was just chilling there, and then I saw something, and it was the scariest moment. Because he looks over like, oh my god, what is that?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, like he's narrating it.
So you tell me that's not Bigfoot?
That's not Bigfoot.
In the flesh?
No.
Wow.
They look better on Planet of the Apes.
Look at him. That's a monkey.
That's just a man in a suit.
That's a monkey man.
It's a man in a suit, in a costume.
Fair enough.
Do you fair enough me? I'm the believer here.
Well, let me
All
ask
you're doing is making me become a skeptic.
Let me ask you this. Do you think, so, Bigfoot, we're putting it in cryptozoology, but there's been a lot of speculation over the years that Bigfoot is not a flesh and blood creature.
What?
That he's more spiritual or interdimensional or something, there's something else to him. Which is why people can't find him, because he only exists at certain points when he wants you to see him.
I imagine Bigfoot has the same sort of vibe that Bailey over there has.
Smelly.
That's what he brings to the function.
Brings a bit of stank.
I just... No.
You don't have
he's
any
just minding his... I don't...
Do you not have an opinion on his...
I don't think that's Bigfoot, but I do believe in Bigfoot. I just don't think that's
believe in Bigfoot?
Yeah.
But do you believe in him as a solid flesh and blood creature?
Yes.
Like a Gigantopithecus?
Beg your pardon?
You know the...
Say it again.
A Gigantopithecus.
What?
Yeah,
Vagina.
The ancient... Gigantopithecus.
Gigantopithecus. Bless you.
It's an old... ancient whatever creature, an extinct creature that,
right.
I guess is depicted as Bigfoot-esque.
Right. Yeah, he's just hanging out.
Do you think it's that? Do you think it's one of them or a group of them that have survived in the wild, hidden in secrecy? Maybe. But you don't think he's like magic?
I want him to be magic. I want him to have a wizard's hat.
Oh, wizard's hat.
Imagine Bigfoot in a wizard's hat. But I don't think he's...
Alright then. Should we move on then?
Dimensional. Yeah, let's move on.
So that's the end of the big three.
Oh, we said it together.
Those are all the stories for the big three. So that's what we got going on. Those are the big stories this month. Big
stories. Are these smaller stories then, what we've got
These are some smaller stories. These are just some other things that don't fit into those categories. that I just thought maybe were interesting, and we'll have a little talk about them.
Oh, the source for this one's Lad Bible.
Yeah.
How many adverts did you have to sift through?
One, I think.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you did it on your computer though, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
If you did it on mobile, you'd
It's
be
a bit different, yeah. So, this first story is from Lad Bible. Here's the headline. Jack the Ripper finally unmasked after DNA breakthrough in 136-year mystery. This would be mad stuff if it's true. Okay. Most of what we know about the Ripper is what he did to 5 of his confirmed victims, and evidence from one of them has led an author to claim he's finally unmasked the man behind the murders. The Ripper's 4th victim was a woman named Catherine Eddowes, who was found dead on 30th of September 1888, the same night that Ripper also killed Elizabeth Stride. At the scene of Eddowes' murder was a shawl which was taken home by one of the police officers at the scene, which would later be auctioned off and bought by Russell Edwards. He put it through DNA testing, which found blood and semen stains on the shawl, with the blood matching a descendant of Eddowes. According to the Mirror, Edwards says the semen stains were a DNA match for a distant relative of one of the most prominent Ripper suspects, Aaron Kosminski. Edwards wrote a book called Naming Jack the Ripper, in which he identified Kosminski as the infamous serial killer, and now has a new one out called Naming Jack the Ripper, The Definitive Reveal.
Oh.
In the book, he once again points the finger at Kosminski, writing that police believed him to have a great hatred of women, especially of the prostitute class, and had a strong homicidal tendencies. However, the claims of getting DNA evidence from the shawl have been contested over the years. In 2014, Ripper expert Andrew Smith said to solve the case we need forensic evidence and there isn't any, and that it was highly unlikely that any DNA evidence on the shawl hadn't become contaminated over the years.
Yeah.
Right, it makes sense. Mick Reed of the University of New England wrote in The Conversation that the authenticity of the shawl was in question, and the cold case was still very much open. Edwards had got Dr. Jari Luhelainen? Luhelainen, yeah. Dr. Jari Luhelainen of Liverpool John Moores University to carry out forensic analysis on the shawl, but at the time of the original DNA work, The Independent reported that a number of experts said there had been serious DNA error. They claim he made an error of nomenclature, which, if corrected, would link the DNA to more than 99% of people of European descent.
Right.
Do you think the Ripper case is done and dusted, or does Jack's true identity still remain a mystery to you? So, is this Kosminski guy Jack the Ripper himself, or did they mess it up and it doesn't tell you anything? It could be anyone. Although it does narrow it down to a European person, which isn't unlikely considering it was London in 1888.
Yeah.
You know, that's not really unusual.
Yeah. I think it could have easily been contaminated.
This guy was a suspect anyway, so it could well be him.
It could, yeah.
But I don't know that this evidence is the evidence to point that out.
Yeah.
What's up?
It's gone funny.
It's fine, don't worry about it. Come on. You want me to minimise it?
Yeah.
I think that's something.
Okay. Don't worry me.
So, any other thoughts? Do you know much about Jack the Ripper?
No, I think I get confused with Jack the Ripper and the Yorkshire Ripper.
Right, yeah. Yorkshire Ripper.
I watched a lot of that
And
documentary.
more recent as well.
Yeah,
Much
I
more
watched a lot of that documentary on Yorkshire Ripper, but I've not really. I've got that book by Kerry Maniscalco, but that's like a fictional book of these two that are trying to solve the Jack the Ripper case.
Yeah. See, I like the vibe of like Jack the Ripper stuff. Not like serial killing.
Like his vibe.
But like, you know, like I suppose it's more like that Victorian London dark streets, lamp lights everywhere because there's no electric lights or whatever, and it's just like it's pretty creepy. It's very atmospheric.
For that setting.
But that's like how it is how it's depicted in movies and TV.
Yeah.
The reality was probably just not nearly as nice.
No, yeah.
But it's a good like world, you know, fictitious world around it that they built up around a real life event that was actually just gruesome.
Yeah.
And horrible, but I really doubt we'll ever know for sure who it was. This author's obviously convinced. He's written 2 books about it. But as the story suggested, the chances, even if they didn't make this error of nomenclature, which has been claimed, the other person that suggested that there's no way the DNA hadn't been contaminated, that's gotta be true.
He said on that the police took it home. The police officer took it home.
Yeah, and then it later got sold at auction.
So it was never, like, entered into evidence. Oh, I don't know.
Took it home maybe means to the police station.
You don't know that.
I don't know.
Home.
But this is one of the problems.
Well, that's it. Yeah,
we don't have an exact tracking of where this object went.
Because I was like, well, that's easily been contaminated.
Yeah, of course it would have been. Yeah, if it had been.
Because forensics wasn't
nearly as good.
Anywhere near what it is now.
If it had been kept entirely in, hypothetically, if it had been kept entirely in lab conditions, never been touched, forgotten about, and someone's like, oh, wait a minute, what's this? And then found it, you could maybe say, yeah, it's not been contaminated.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened. It's gone through multiple hands. It's been sold at auction multiple times.
Yeah.
It's contaminated. Let's just say
it's
that.
Definitely.
So, unfortunately, I think this story is
bogus.
Let's move on to the next one. Story 2 for other sources. Gizmodo. Headline. World's longest treasure hunt ends after 31 years, 5 months and 9 days.
This has got me thinking of that episode of Brassic.
Oh, yeah, it was a good one.
That was a good one.
If you've seen Brassic, you'll know which one we mean. It's season 2.
Season 2.
The treasure hunt for the Golden Owl in France appears to be over after several European news outlets report someone has finally cracked the code and found the statuette. That makes it the world's longest treasure hunt after 31 years, 5 months and 9 days.
Wow.
French author Regis Hauser buried a statuette of an owl somewhere in France back in 1993 as a kind of promotion for his book, On the Trail for the Golden Owl, which he published under the pseudonym Max Valentin. Hauser said that the 11 puzzles in his book would reveal the location, something he assumed would happen relatively quickly. The game's co-creator, painter Michael Becker, announced on the Discord for the treasure hunt that someone had found the owl. It's not clear yet who may have finally found it. We can confirm that the golden owl was unearthed last night, simultaneously with a solution upload that was sent to the online verification system. There is therefore no need for you to go digging at a location you assume to be the hiding spot.
Please stop digging up everywhere.
Yeah, Becker wrote in Discord according to an English language translation. Hauser was the only one who knew the location of the owl, and after he died, a legal battle ensued between the author's heirs and Becker, the co-creator of the game. Becker received the answers to the riddles in the early 2020s, according to Euronews, and reinvigorated the hunt by launching a Discord server for discussion. The prize owl weighs about 22 pounds, or 10 kilos, made of silver and gold. The owl also has diamonds in its head and is billed as worth about 150,000 euros, which is 165,000 US dollars. Though the one that's been hidden is a bronze replica, whoever has found the replica can now trade it in for the real deal, which is in Becker's possession. Before he died, Hauser insisted in 1996 that the puzzles really weren't that hard if the people working on them would just work together. If all the searchers put all their knowledge together, the owl will be found in 2 hours, Hauser said, according to the BBC.
I love that. That's actually brilliant.
Thoughts on that? That's a long time to be looking for.
That is a long time. And what a sassy way to be like if you'd have just buckled up and worked as a team, you'd have figured it out. As my manager says, teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah. I think it's smart that they didn't bury the actual owl.
Yeah, I was thinking that makes a lot of sense, yeah.
But then once you find it, let us know and we'll give you it.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll actually give it.
So if someone else that wasn't looking for it found it, like, I'll have that.
But if you want to, it must have been hidden where someone wouldn't accidentally find it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it would have been found.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I wonder where it was. Somewhere in France, I guess.
Somewhere in France, yeah. You can stop digging up France now, guys.
What? Any other thoughts on that before we move on?
No, I think that's a great way to promote a book. That's very cool.
Good stuff.
Never heard of it, but...
I feel like I'd heard of it at some point, but it was like a vague thing. I definitely didn't look into it, so
if
I don't
you're
really
looking
remember.
for an owl, just go to Leeds. They're all over
the place, apparently.
Have you not seen them? Like the little owl statues. They're everywhere.
Are they?
Yeah.
I haven't even noticed them.
Next time we go.
Could be UFOs. They say people who see aliens have the memory masked, and instead of an alien, they think they've seen an owl. They have a memory of an owl, but it wasn't an owl, it was an alien.
Are you making this up on the spot, or is that real?
That's genuine.
From where? Cite your source.
Stuff people say.
Stuff people say. Was it on TikTok?
It was referenced in the movie The Fifth Kind with Mila Jovovich.
Never seen it.
Well, we'll watch it.
Okay.
Okay, anyway. Story number 3 for other source.
Specifically owls?
Whoa. Yeah.
Wait, no, because I remember you saying this when we were driving home one time and I saw an owl.
Yeah, well.
Oh, did I? You know, can I just say, while we're still on the UFOs that we've just brought up again, that it's really, I think it'd be really hard to be like, this is a UFO in this day and age because we have drones.
Yeah, it makes it much
So
harder.
much more. And
because
then,
now there's so much more
ones
stuff
that-
in the sky.
And the drones that do, you know, when you can make them do like a fireworks show, you can make them do all like patterns and that. And I'm like, you can make it look like a UFO.
You could definitely. I mean,
that's it. Driving, flying in my dad's house.
Anyway.
He'll love it.
Story 3. Source, CNN. Headline. Secret tomb found under Indiana Jones filming location in Petra.
Oh!
Okay. At the heart of the ancient city of Petra, Jordan, carved into pink sandstone cliffs, lies an elaborate monument known as the Khazna, or the Treasury. And buried beneath that edifice, archaeologists recently discovered is a tomb with at least 12 human skeletons and artifacts that are estimated to be at least 2,000 years old.
Ooh.
Archaeologists led by Dr. Piers Paul Kreisman, executive director of the American Center of Research, unearthed the ancient tomb. The expedition was studying the treasury after years of speculation that 2 tombs found below the left side of the monument in 2003 weren't the only secret underground chambers. But that theory had not been confirmed until now. Kreisman and his team performed ground-penetrating radar, a remote sensing technique that uses radar pulses to detect underground objects. Early this year, to see whether the physical features on the left where the original tombs were found matched those on the right. The detections revealed strong similarities among the two sides, and it was the proof they needed to receive permission from the Jordanian government to dig beneath the treasury. At this point, Kreisman contacted Josh Gates.
Who's Josh Gates?
Host of Discovery Channel's Expedition Unknown.
Oh!
Yes, that's right.
Yeah!
Your boy Josh Gates is all over this story. Quote from Kreisman. I think we've got something. Kreisman said he told the explorer over the phone. With a film crew, the team excavated the newly uncovered tomb in August, but the real surprise was what lay within the tomb. While many tombs uncovered within Petra are found empty or disturbed, the chamber was filled with complete skeletal remains and the grave goods made from bronze, iron, and ceramic. The intact burial found beneath the treasury provides rare insight into the lives of Nabateans, ancient Arabian nomads whose desert kingdom thrived during the 4th century BC to AD 106. Kreisman said, "This is a hugely rare discovery. In the 2 centuries that Petra has been investigated by archaeologists, nothing like this has been found before." Gates said. This is from Josh Gates now.
Okay.
Even in front of one of the most famous buildings in the world, there are still huge discoveries to be made. The significant finding may be the largest collection of human remains found in one place within Petra, according to researchers. And it was featured Wednesday on the season premiere of Expedition Unknown.
Oh.
The treasure receives hundreds of thousands of tourists a year, and it has also been featured in several movies, most prominently as the site of the Holy Grail in the 1989 film Indiana Jones and the Lost Crusades.
Last Crusade.
Last Crusade, yeah, sorry. I've put all the rest of this in here, but I don't think there's actually any more information.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is.
That's pretty cool.
So, I mean, as with a lot of archaeology, the whole thing is finding these things and thinking, what does this tell us about ancient people's life? Because there's no written documentation.
Yeah.
We don't really know. A lot of archaeology is guessing. It's it's educated guessing. They're not saying it for no reason, but it is kind of guessing, and chances are we're wrong about some things.
Yeah.
But I think it's quite interesting that all these years later we're still finding things, things
yeah.
that we've already been,
yeah,
you know, searching.
Yeah.
And we're still finding new things, and it's your boy Josh Gates doing it.
It's your boy Josh Gates. Very cool.
Very cool.
I like that.
And I like that they filmed on a genuine historical location for Indiana Jones, because they could have just done it on a set.
Yeah, they could have. That is cool.
They went to the place. And little did they know they were stood on top of 2,000-year-old skeletal remains.
Wow.
And that no one even knew about at the time.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool indeed. Do you have any other... What do you think about, like, archaeology and, like, uncovering stuff about ancient civilizations? Cool stuff? Not cool stuff? Boring? Interesting?
It's interesting. Yeah. It's always interesting.
It's always interesting, yeah.
I like when we see, like, the stuff in museums.
Yeah.
Like, watching it on TV, like, yeah, fair enough. Like, that's interesting and, like, seeing it. But, like, seeing it in person is very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
And I like that we, in the British Museum, basically have all of it because we stole it from everywhere and said, no, this is ours.
Yeah.
So it's all there. We don't have to go to these places. We just go down to London and have a look.
Yeah.
Who wants to go to London, though? Horrible. Right, let's move on. Story 4. Is this the last one, I think?
Oh, it's a long one. Oh, no.
There's one more after this. It's not that long. There's just a lot of gaps in it.
Yeah.
Source for this one is Mail Online.
Okay.
Headline. Potential breakthrough as scientists claim 2 people communicated in their dreams in world
I'm so down. I'm so down for this.
I'll read through it and we'll get to our thoughts. Scientists have brought science fiction one step closer to reality by achieving the first two-way communication between individuals during lucid dreaming. In an experiment that sounds like a scene out of the movie Inception, REM Space, a California-based startup that designs technology to enhance sleep and lucid dreaming, reportedly exchanged a message between 2 people who were asleep.
That'd not be REM Space. Like REM cycle.
It could be pronounced REM Space, I don't know.
I'm going to pronounce it that way.
REM is rapid eye movement.
Yeah.
So it's...
Okay.
It is, but maybe they are saying it REM Space, I'm not sure.
No,
I'll go with REM Space, it'll be easier.
Don't want to hurt your feelings.
The company used specially designed equipment which included a server, an apparatus, Wi-Fi and sensors, but did not specify the exact technology they used.
Give us the clues.
Very vague about this.
Give us the secrets. We want to do this. I can keep yapping at you while we're asleep. Ooh, dream come true.
The study participants were asleep in separate homes when REM Space researchers beamed a word created through a unique language between them.
Okay.
Unique language. REM Space CEO and founder Michael Raduga said, "Yesterday, communicating in dreams seemed like science fiction. Tomorrow, it will be so common we won't be able to imagine our lives without this technology. Tomorrow. This opens the door to countless commercial applications, reshaping how we think about communication and interaction in the dream world. The technology has yet to be reviewed or replicated by scientists, but if validated, it would be a major milestone for sleep research and could provide applications for mental health treatment, skills training and more," REM Space said. REM Space used specially designed equipment to allow 2 individuals to successfully exchange a simple message while lucid dreaming, the company claimed. REM Space has not revealed exactly what equipment was used in their experiment, but said the experiment involved an apparatus that tracked participants' brainwaves and other biological data during the experiment. It also involved a server that can detect when participants enter a lucid dream and generate messages that are transmitted to them. 2 study participants slept in separate homes while their brainwaves were remotely tracked by the apparatus, which fed data into the server. Once the server detected that one participant had entered a lucid dream, it generated a random word from the special language and transmitted it to him via earbuds. The participant then repeated this word in his dream, and that response was captured and stored in the server. 8 minutes later, the second participant entered a lucid dream. The server transmitted the stored message from the first participant to her, which she repeated upon awaking. REM Space was able to repeat this experiment with another pair of participants, but the study will need to undergo rigorous review before the company can definitively say that they achieved dream communication.
Right.
Raduga, who is confident about their results, is widely known for his ambitious and sometimes bizarre experiments. In 2023, he put his life on the line when he attempted to implant a microchip in his own brain to control his dreams.
This guy needs to just chill out a minute.
The 40-year-old, who has no neurosurgery qualifications...
This guy's like, I'm jamming this in my brain. You know what? I'm just going to stick it in my ear and hope for the best.
Just try it.
What the hell?
Compared his extremely dangerous experiment to the film of Inception, claiming his electrode one day has the potential to change the course of lucid dreams. Gruesome footage of the procedure shows him holding his skin back with paper clips while bulldozing the back of his skull using a drill he found at a hardware store.
Bulldozing? Wow. With what?
A drill he found at a hardware store.
Oh no! Oh god! And now I'm thinking of that other episode of Brassic when he's got the corkscrew in his head and he twists it. Oh, I feel sick.
Can I go on?
Yeah, go on.
He inserted the chip into his brain after watching hours of neurosurgery YouTube videos and practicing on 5 sheep.
The poor sheep!
He told no one of his plans.
What the hell?
The chip was eventually removed in hospital after 5 weeks. The highly dangerous study has not appeared in any peer-reviewed journals and is not backed by any universities, but Raduga claimed he needed to do it for himself. "I am glad I survived, but I was ready to die," he told DailyMail.com in an exclusive interview last year.
Oh my god.
Now he has set his sights on another ambitious goal, enabling real-time communication in lucid dreams. "We believe that REM sleep and related phenomena like lucid dreams will become the next big industry after AI," Raduga said. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Does that mean that we're now going to get ads in our dreams?
No, because this is nonsense.
What the hell?
Not only is that nonsense because that guy clearly has no idea what he's doing, he's just shoving stuff in people's brains.
Yeah.
But it's also nonsense because you may disagree. People attribute a lot to sleep. I do not believe any of it. To dreams, sorry. Dreams, like, meaning to dreams, or, like, someone might visit you in a dream and, it's like...
Oh, no, yeah, I don't.
Or it means this, it means that, or there's something any deeper to dreams. Dreams are just you tripping off of chemicals going around in your head.
But
there's too much. Dreams are absolute nonsense. I have dreams all the time and they're just
mine
nonsense.
Are wacky, mine are wild.
There's no way any of it means anything. Like, it's just... a lot of it's from subconscious things that you haven't even necessarily noticed you've picked up, but you've seen somewhere, at some point, in some way, or had it suggested to you, and you're just creating stuff. You're just creating stories in your brain. There's nothing to sleep. If something really big pops up, we'll talk about sleep again, but I'm saying it here right now. Sleep is nothing.
Sleep is nothing.
There is nothing to sleep.
Dreams,
specifically, yeah.
Sleep is not nothing. I love sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, dream, yeah.
What do you think?
So I couldn't fully grasp how the communication worked.
Right. So, one person, they had an apparatus that detected that someone...
I'm picturing Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind here. He had a colander on his head.
Right. So it detected when this person entered a lucid dream. Okay, which lucid dreaming is real, we know that.
Yeah.
And at that point, they beamed, in their words, a word, not in English, I guess, or
in a language
or whatever language they speak, a created language. So it's not even a...
So it's already very present in their minds.
Right. Some random nonsense that they considered a word. And when they say beamed, they said he had earbuds in, so basically just played audio of it into his ears.
Right.
And I guess it didn't wake him up. I don't know. And then in his lucid dream, they're claiming that he transmitted through the lucid dream this word. He repeated it, and that information of that repeated word got stored into a server they had. And then the next person entered a lucid dream. The information from his repetition of the word they beamed to him was sent from that server to the new person who had a lucid dream. When that person woke up, they said, "Oh, the word is this," and I guess they're claiming that was the same word, and that way they're saying that is proof that the word went from one dream to another.
But it played through the headphones.
It played through the headphones for the first person. The second person hadn't heard it in real life in any way. They got it through the dream.
Right, okay, get you. That's where it lost me.
And they also claim they've repeated it with a second pair of participants.
Right.
I'm not convinced, but this is what they're saying.
You know, I was all on board until he started drilling his goddamn head.
Yeah,
like,
really throws it away, doesn't it?
What an actual nutter.
Practiced on 5 sheep.
Fucking hell.
Jesus. I don't think you can do that, can you? And there are ethical issues with that. Don't they stop you doing stuff like that? I don't know. It's not like the sheep can agree to it.
No.
No, exactly.
But,
Do you have anything else to say before we move on from this story?
Wow. That's all I've got to say.
That's all you've got?
That is all I've got to say.
Right. Okay, let's...
No, that's not all I've got to say, actually. Let me say. I think it would be pretty cool to do that, but at the same time, I feel like... I've like once had a lucid dream, and it was very short anyway. Is lucid dream, are you still resting when you're lucid dreaming? Is it still like you're getting your rest? Cause,
you're fully in REM sleep.
No, but to be fair, like, because your brain, I need my brain to switch off. I need to be not aware. I need to go.
Yeah.
That's how I rest. Like, my brain does not switch off when I'm awake, ever.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. I need that when I sleep. I need it to be quiet. So, like, I do not want this.
No,
I don't want bitches trying to communicate with me while I'm trying to snooze.
I've never had lucid dreaming and I don't want it either.
Yeah.
But you will be rested. You are in a rapid eye movement sleep. You're in a deep sleep.
Yeah.
It won't affect how rested you are, but it is weird.
Yeah. I feel like... Yeah, like, we'll be rested, but it's the awareness that I'm not okay with. I don't like that awareness.
Creepy.
Very creepy.
Right, let's do our last story.
You do get aware of your dreams, but you're only really aware of them, like, when you... I guess you kind of are aware of your dreams, aren't you, while you're sleeping? But it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have no control over that when you're asleep. Normally.
Mm-hmm. I had a very cool dream about video games the other day.
Did you?
Yeah. Anyway, next story.
Last story. Last story and we're done. Right. Here we go. Story 5. Source is space.com.
I'm ready.
Headline. NASA's Europa Clipper mission to Jupiter mission updates.
Ooh!
Okay. NASA's flagship Europa Clipper spacecraft will explore Jupiter's icy moon Europa on a mission to understand how habitable Jovian satellite... I'm not sure how that sentence makes sense, but basically how habitable it is, with its vast salty ocean wrapped in a thick ice crust.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. A SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket will launch the $5 billion Europa Clipper towards Jupiter from NASA's Kennedy Space Center, Pad 39A, near Cape Canaveral, Florida, on the 14th of October 2024. Liftoff was set for 12:06 p.m., which is 4:06 GMT. Never mind that. NASA's Europa Clipper spacecraft has begun its 1.8 billion mile trek to Jupiter and appears to be working well after a successful launch on a SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket. Flight controllers at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory Operations Center did report an apparent venting issue with the probe's propulsion system, but later added that the system was still performing as expected. Europa Clipper has deployed both of its solar arrays, meaning it now has a reliable source of power for the long trip to Jupiter. So it's not like they've not discovered anything, but basically they're telling us that they've launched and they're going to explore more of Europa, which has long been rumoured as one of the most likely places in our solar system to support life currently.
Right.
So I think that, as far as I'm aware, they know, I think because they reference it here, that it has like a water ice coat all around it. Like not ice in some other form, but like an actual water ice. And that there is liquid water underneath. And there's speculation that there are like heated vents under there, which means that it's like, because we speculate that water is one of the mandatory elements to support life, at least life as we know it. And that, with the heated vents, it wouldn't be too freezing under. it would have, all the elements required for life. And while we don't know because we haven't been able to look down underneath the ice, that it could potentially harbour life down there.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the same life that is UFOs travelling here and that are crashing and we're doing crash retrievals on.
Yeah.
It'd be something else, something that is, I guess, trapped under that ice as it stands. Some kind of alien shark and dolphin kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm down, man.
But, so the UFOs is always... The UFO and alien things is always kind of out there where it's like... We talk about it like it could be true, and it could be. But at the same time, in the back of your mind, it's always like very separate. It's like...
well, like when you look at space exploration.
Right, you kind of all at the same time don't believe it. But this is legitimate, like... Right there.
Yeah.
There very well could be life on Europa right now.
Yeah.
And this mission could prove it.
Yeah.
Potentially.
I don't know
what kind of equipment they're taking to do any tests or anything, but it's very exciting, I think.
Yeah.
There is a movie based on the idea that there's life on Europa called the Europa Report.
Okay.
I watched it, but it was a while ago. I don't remember if it was any good or not. But yeah, what do you think about that? I love space travel stuff. Is really cool.
Yeah. Anytime there's anything like that, I absolutely.
It'd be nice. I don't know if there's any cameras on this. It'd be nice if there was cameras for video or pictures. What is very exciting is the Artemis missions, where they're returning manned missions to the moon.
Yeah.
Which we haven't done since the early 70s, I think. Something like that. People going into space all the time into the ISS.
Yeah.
But we've not been to the moon since then. And they're returning doing manned missions to the moon. I think that's really cool. And I think they're going to film that. I mean, they did it in the 60s. I'm sure they can film it now. And that'd be very cool.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for when that happens. It was delayed, so I think it's like next year or a year after or something will be the first one.
Yeah.
But that's going to be very exciting as well. Would you know anything about Europa? Any opinions on its ability to support life?
No, I don't know anything about it.
Do you speculate there might be life there?
Maybe.
I know you don't know much about it, but like based on what you've heard.
Maybe.
You think there could be?
Yeah. I'm excited to find out.
Yeah.
Bang, bang.
Fireworks, nice.
Fireworks. That's it. They start with fireworks as soon as it's Halloween, and then you get it all through to New Year.
Oh, yeah. So there we go. Unless you have anything else to say that is spooky news.
That is spooky news. Very cool.
Very cool.
I think you can tell that a lot of my enthusiasm and not interest, because I am interested in the other stuff as well, but like if it's to do with ghosts, that's my main area. I've got a lot to say on it. I'm hoping that with these podcasts that it gets me more excited about the other stuff as well. I mean, my dad's always talking about aliens. He's obsessed with it. He loves it. Absolutely loves it. And yeah, I've not had a lot to say because I've not got a lot of like background knowledge on the stuff. But
I don't think you need a lot. You just express you hear it and express what you're thinking. I think that's all you really need.
Oh yeah.
And then people who listen will either agree or disagree.
Yeah, like how I don't believe in Nessie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been fun. I actually really like this. They're very interesting stories as well. Nice variety of stories. I can't believe that I can't stop thinking about that man drilling that hole in his head though.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Daft that.
What a nutter.
Yeah, I think it's gone on actually longer than I thought.
Yeah.
We might have to try and think of ways to cut it down a little bit because it's taken quite a lot.
Yeah, it could be a two-parter.
Maybe we could do it 2 parts in the future. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's been a decent first episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening, tuning in.
Like and subscribe and comment. And we'll see you, I guess, in about a month's time for episode 2.
Yeah! Woohoo! Bye!